So what do you think can be done to diversify the services exports? Because again, within services, we have a more focused share of IT, ITES. So how can we balance it with more services sectors taking a greater share? Do you see potential in other sectors?
Yes, I see a lot of potential in the other sectors because the ambit of services needs to be extended actually to the manufacturing sector. The term servicification of manufacturing, refers to the fragmentation of manufacturing production into such activities as R&D, marketing, machining, logistics, to name a few. And we have seen that in the context from the other countries, from whom we can learn from their experiences, like China, Republic of Korea, Taiwan, and some of the ASEAN member countries like Vietnam, in designing smart subsidies for services, which are inputs into manufacturing and help to improve the competitiveness of these manufacturing. In India, it is very well known that logistics costs are around 13 to 14% of our GDP, while it's around 8% in the developed world and probably still lower in China. In India, it's also not uncommon for Indian factories to provide transportation logistics by running hundreds of buses to ferry workers to and fro into the units. In Chennai, we've seen in the past classic situations when Nokia was fully operational. They were running 700 buses on a daily basis. And at any given point of time, for example, in the morning, if the buses ran bumper to bumper, there was no place on the highway for any other traffic to move. Another area where we need help is India is trying to attract high value manufacturing in the SEZs. This will require training and skill upgradation, which will also entail costs. Now, what we are seeing is that in these manufacturing units in the SEZs, if they can be given some subsidies to offset part of the cost of logistics, labor transportation, training, electricity, R&D, treatment of industrial effluents, and any other costs which account for a significant part of the manufacturing cost. The aim is to reduce the cost of manufacturing by subsidizing services used in the manufacturing for exports. This is a common practice followed by many countries in the SEZs, as this is WTO compliant. If India designs such smart subsidies, SEZs would be able to attract manufacturing units and can be engines of inclusive growth, value manufacturing, and exports. And now that when the MEIS scheme has been withdrawn because of not being WTO compliant on merchandise exports, we still have the possibility of subsidizing the servicification of manufacturing, which will make Indian manufacturing more attractive and competitive in the global market and be completely WTO compliant. I think we have a huge potential here for servicification of manufacturing. And just to share with you the data, from the SEZs, we have seen total exports which were done. The DC Vizag, Mr. Reddy Saab, has given the data in rupees. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just break it down to merchandise exports, not taking into the IT service sector, because that's being also counted for in the IT sector. So the merchandise exports from the SEZ was in 2021, 33.29 billion. And in 2019-20, it was 42.05. Now, a major chunk of these exports are contributions of the HS code 27, which is petroleum and petroleum products, and HS code 71, which is gem and jewelry and precious metals. Now, these are significant contributors from the SEZ export basket. They contribute almost 50% of Indian merchandise exports is from HS code 27 and HS code 71. So the remaining exports from the SEZ, which is pure manufacturing exports, which is where the entire focus of the country is right now, to increase the manufacturing sector and get the relocating supply chains to do manufacturing within the country and create jobs. This is 17.33 billion in the year 2021, and it was 16.16 billion in 1920. So even during the pandemic, the manufacturing sector without 27 and 71, HS codes 27 and 71, have actually seen an increase, which is quite encouraging and interesting, as Reddy Saab earlier has also mentioned that SEZs have been playing a very significant role. But I think we need to carve out a special policy mechanism for the vanilla manufacturing sector and attract the sunrise sector from China into India. And we have the potential to be able to do that. Thank you.